Hello, and welcome to D6 Tricks, the Twitch channel where I just do a whole lot of different stuff related to tabletop games, whatever suits my fancy, and sometimes people join me. Isn't that fun? Anyway, today we are playing Cthulhu Dark, one of the rules-lightest ways to run an adventure where you slowly discover horrible truths and lose your mind out there. Joining me, we have Atwas.
Hello, you can't get rid of me forever. I'm back this week, baby, and I'm bringing a Russian.
Let's go. We have Kristen.
Hello.
We have Adric.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Queen.
Choo choo.
Choo choo indeed, for this adventure is on board the Orient Express, circa mid to early July 1914. I'm sure that's not a significant date at all, or anything. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with how Cthulhu Dark works, it is very simple. Characters have a name and an occupation, and usually the Game Master tells them, hey, here's a reason for you to be here, so that we don't run into the frighteningly common problem of player characters being like, I'm gonna leave, which is the smart thing to do, but doesn't make for a very fun game. Everything is done with D6s, and most of the time, you cannot fail. Like, especially when you're investigating something, you cannot fail. This is to avoid the problem of, oh, you get no clues because you didn't roll high enough a knowledge check, which sucks in a mystery game. If I want to, I can say there are consequences and introduce a failure dice, and if that rolls the highest, fun things happen. And anytime you get scared, or anytime I call for it, there is also insight dice, which, if that rolls the highest, fun things happen. And if your insight score goes all the way from 1 to 6, fun things happen, and you're out. Bye-bye. You go out with a bang, probably.
Woo! Excellent.
Now, all that being said, all aboard the Orient Express. It is the middle of the summer in 1914. Europe is in a bit of a frenzy right now. Certain events have happened that have caused, riot in the streets, harsh words to be thrown across state and national borders. There's tension everywhere. Yet here, aboard the most luxurious train in the world, for a time, at least, there is peace. Every language that is theoretically feasible in Europe is thrown around here. French, German, English, even some Russian, a little bit. And the Orient Express currently is going on its usual route, starting out in Paris and going on a couple days' journey all the way to Constantinople in the far, far eastern reaches of Europe. On the way, getting on the train, shortly before it chugs off, we have 4 unique passengers, all called for one purpose. An acquaintance of theirs, Clinton York, known throughout Europe and infamous throughout America as being a philanthropist with somewhat radical revolutionary ideas, has invited them for a deal of great importance. Now, I'm sure they'll get to know each other very shortly, but for now, let's get to know all of them, starting with the Russian who's just come on board.
I am Valentin Varbeninov. Valentin is good. Val, I suppose. I know sometimes my name is difficult to pronounce. I am currently, hopefully, eventually on my way home, but I have to find my sibling first. They are also an associate of our mutual acquaintance. Bit about me. I'm an engineer. It passes the time, right? That's important. Education, so on and so forth. So, yes, I'm here to figure out what exactly could be keeping my sibling, and might as well have a good time. It's a nice little trip.
It is indeed a nice little trip. Really the only way to travel in style. Speaking of people who travel in style, Sybil Cordova! You look very familiar. Why don't you tell us what you're doing on this train?
Cordova proceeds to phase into another horror game. I'm Sybil Cordova. Hello. Well, so my parents passed away a number of years ago, and in that time, I find myself in charge of the Cordova estate, and since they aren't around to say where I put my money, I decided philanthropy was where I wanted it to go. So, I've got a vested interest in Mr. York's work, and so I'm here for the deal. And if I happen to look great while I'm doing it here on this lovely train, well, hey, not like I have anything better to do.
I mean, what is a train but a place for people with very few things better to do to just gather around and wait to get where they're going? Also, all the way from England, having made the ferry over to France to get on this connection, we have a journalist, it looks like.
Excuse me, I'm from Scotland.
I'm sure you are. Anyway.
Well, hi, hello. I am Dominic Garden. I come from Dundee, Scotland. Unfortunately, my career path has led me to becoming a journalist in the most deadest town you can imagine, because nothing goes on in Scotland. But my associate, Mr. York, has invited me on this trip for a potential scoop that he has suggested to me. And could be the break I need. Gets me out of the UK, at least.
It does indeed get you out of the UK. Changing the weather would be nice. Get rid of some of that gossip and hubbub in Scotland and or England.
Get rid of the rain smell.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, this is interesting. Not normally the kind of person you would expect on the Orient Express, but it takes all comers. Is that a miner we have among us?
Yes, name's Nathaniel Moore. I run the face of one of the unions that Mr. York has at the copper mines. Why he wanted me to come here, I don't frankly know, but job's a job, and he told me to get here.
That he did.
Hey.
And now, here everyone is, on the train as it chugs off from the Paris station and goes on the long railway eastward. And as you take around, in your own turn, a well-dressed man who you would imagine is like the head of staff in the forward-facing areas of the train walks up and is like, pardon, mesdames et messieurs, map of the train, complimentary for all passengers. Would it be helpful for you? Yes? And hands over a map showing where people are and the general layout of the train.
Ooh, this is a big handout. Oh, good lord.
The paper texture was large.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Right, ta. Ooh, got an actual map.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a map, alright.
It has words on it!
I realized I went to the wrong thing on OBS, so let me move to one that will actually show you what the map is. Woo!
Woo!
Oh-ho.
Oh-ho.
Woo.
Now, obviously, this is not accurate to the actual Orient Express in 1914. This is something cobbled together to make the gameplay experience more tight.
That's fine.
Imagine me not memorizing every single detail of a train line that ran 100 years ago.
That's okay.
It's fine. It's not like the Orient Express is around to correct you.
It's not.
So, it's fine.
Is that the Orient Express I see in chat right now?
Chugga, 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 chugga. Oh, shit!
So which car are we in now?
Currently, you look to have boarded in sleeper car red. You just look around. It's a pretty big sleeper car. The Orient Express has massive train carriages all down the line. This one is big, has compartments for like at least 6, probably more tucked away somewhere, different sleeping compartments scattered throughout all down the line. And sitting in front of the door to the luggage cart, reading the newspaper, is a man in a train operator's uniform. You would guess that is Monsieur Zachary Genet, the conductor of the red car.
Mm-hmm. So if we had luggage on us, would we just go to the luggage cart ourselves, or would we let someone know?
You would let someone know.
All right, I will let someone know.
All right. You head up to Monsieur Genet, talk about luggage. He quickly unfolds the newspaper, gives you a scan over. He's relatively young, all things considered, to be holding like a conductor position, especially on board like such a high-class train as this one. He gives you a nod and is like, "Oui, of course, monsieur. I should get these organized."
Aye, ta laddie.
And starts loading up luggage onto the luggage cart.
I had mine taken care of ahead of time. I have money and I was in Paris anyway.
Not like I've got anything I'm worried about losing in this thing.
If you tip your luggage boys well, things will be taken care of for you, and you don't need to worry about it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely. Sorry, how rude of me. Valentin Varbianinov, pleasure to meet you both.
Oh, pleasure to meet you as well.
Likewise.
Don't tend to see too many Americans around these parts.
No, and frankly, I don't know why I'm here. I just got a letter saying that I had to be here, and here I am.
Am I to assume that you two were also invited by Mr. York?
That would be correct.
Sure, we can call it that.
Curious statement, but okay.
At the passing mention of Mr. York, his name's on the map. Like, we can see that, right?
The guests of Clinton York are there because that is just my placeholder for the player characters. Clinton York, his name is on the map, yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, Dominic will immediately pat, because he's wearing a trench coat, he pats one of the pockets where his notebook is kept to make sure it's there. Just gives a brief nod, and then without talking to anyone else, just dashes to the next cart.
Friend of yours?
No!
Never met him.
I'm sure we will all get along very, very well then.
Well, I don't know about you two, but I feel like I could use a drink. And I think I'd like to know why I've been invited onto the train. So.
All right.
Not a bad idea.
So, heading into the dining car, that is clearly the hotbed of activity in this early stage of the Orient Express's journey. There are a hodgepodge of different people in here. One table is taken up by 2 young women, gossiping with each other in French. They're making it pretty obvious. They're just casting glances at everyone passing by, talking, whispering to each other, giggling occasionally. There is a very stately-looking older gentleman seated with what appears to be his granddaughter, given the age difference and the similarities in outfit. Both are dressed very, very fancily. He's got like a fur coat, a series of medals. A little decorative shield has been placed next to his chair with an emblem. It looks like a royal crest of some kind. The younger woman is saying something to him very fervently in German, and he is just staring at her stone-faced. there is one table with another man who is just looking at his pocket watch anxiously. He's a stocky man, got a bit of a mustache, suspenders, balding up on top. A couple of suitcases next to him that you can see the front of house man, the one who gave you the map, walking over, offering to take, and the pocket watch man, the balding man, just immediately grabs the handles and pulls them away from him. You do not see, however, any sign of Clinton York in the dining car.
Well, Sybil shrugs like, can't be helped. Drinks first.
Alright.
I mean, you will have no complaints from me. I need to sit down for a while anyway. Which is to say, Valentin actually has like a pretty noticeable limp, and he walks with a cane. Despite being on the younger side.
I see. Alright.
Sybil does slow down a little bit to like not speed too far ahead of him. And that is like, don't want to be rude.
Of course not.
Mm-hmm. Alright, come on, well, since we're here as guests, we may as well, when in Rome, or on the fancy Orient Express.
Oh, trust me, I intend to take every advantage I can while I'm here.
Absolutely. Take a seat, Monsieur Moore. It is very interesting to meet the both of you.
Yeah.
Honestly, likewise.
Do either of you know what was up with that gentleman who just kind of sped off?
Never seen them before in my life.
Same.
Okay.
Alright. The three of you sit down at a table together, start getting some drinks ordered. You are guests, and it is the Orient Express, so expenses are paid, and it's very fancy looking according to the menu. Of course, the three of you together are a very odd group, so immediately you get the attention of the ladies speaking French and become the newest subject of their gossip.
How much French do you know, mademoiselle? What was your name?
Cordova. Enough to know they're being incredibly rude, but, they're the ones who are just they're the ones who are at least a season out of fashion when it comes to their dresses, but, that's none of my business.
Wow,
One of them giggles
I had
as
no
you
idea.
mention their dresses being out of season.
Fuck them. They don't look good. Not my problem. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Moore, you were saying something?
Oh, I understand the words you're saying, but they make not a damn lick of sense.
Alright, so, Mr. Garden, are you just moving straight through the dining car?
Yes.
Alright, cool. You push right by everybody, only getting a little bit of notice from the gossiping French women. The front of house man raises a hand as if to call after you, but sees you're on a mission and is like, I'll just let him go. And you step into the green car, which is decorated much like the red car. The carpet is green instead of red, which is the main difference, but it also has several large sleeping components lining one wall and a hallway going down the line towards another conductor in front of a door reading a newspaper. This one is a woman, it looks like. She's got her hair tied up in a very tight bun, but it is very hard to hide. The uniform extends a little bit out in front.
All right, I will approach her and just go, excuse me, lass.
She puts down the newspaper and just gives you a quick inquisitive look.
You wouldn't happen to know where one Clinton York is, would you?
First car.
First car, tar. Thank you. And I go there.
All right. You head down sleeper car and you knock on the door of Clinton York's car. There's no response.
Okay, I will knock again, just be like, Mr. York?
No response.
Huh. Try one more time.
Nope.
Okay, well, Dominic will conclude that he's either asleep or preoccupied somewhere else, so he'll sigh, resolve to come back later, and head back the way he came.
All right. You step back into the dining car. The front of house man, the maître d'hôtel, looks over at you and is like, "A fruitful journey, sir."
Well, a long journey.
Ah, of course, of course. Perhaps now you would like a drink, monsieur?
Yeah, of course. I'll just start with a water, to be honest. I'm really dry mouthed at the minute.
Whatever it is, I shall retrieve it at once from the kitchen.
Thank you.
And he heads off into the kitchen, leaving you standing in the middle of the dining car.
Cool. I will clock onto the three.
Valentine waves.
Yeah.
Wave.
I will walk over and I just go, I'm really sorry about that. I hope I didn't come off as rude or anything. I tend to get things done in a rush.
You did, but
Nothing
that's
wrong with
okay.
being rude.
Down.
Oh, thank you. Sits.
Sorry, Mr. Valentine. I didn't mean to speak over you.
Oh, no. I was just saying there was nothing wrong with being rude, which, coincidentally, works in perfect tandem with what happened, so all is well.
Right.
Oh, good. We're in agreement then.
Well, pleasure to meet you all. I'm Dominic Garden.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Garden.
Likewise.
Ah,
And you'd all be...
Oh.
My apologies.
I'm Sybil Cordova. You two.
Nathaniel.
Valentin Vorobyaninov. Valentin is fine. Or Val.
So, as Sybil says her name, Dominic immediately whips out this notebook from his trench coat, pulls out a pen, and just starts scribbling down their names, and then as soon as Valentine says his, he just pauses. How do you spell that?
VA. Would you like me to write it for you?
If you wouldn't mind. Sorry, my mind's in such a rush that I tend to forget names easy. Helps if I write it down.
Slide it here. Sort of with this sort of like elegant copperplate script, just writes out the name quickly in perfect English and slides it back. There you go.
Thank you. Do you have an abbreviated version of this?
Valentin, either.
Valentine, right. V. I think Valentine.
I've been
I
called
can
worse.
manage.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
what brings you here on the illustrious Orient Express then?
Well, Mr. York contacted me about a month or so back. Potential scoop offer? Told me it's a way to get out of Dundee, which I will take. I've never been outside England before.
So, the question is begged. What exactly do we four have in common with each other than all being acquaintances of a certain York? I wonder.
You
As far as I can see, not much.
You wouldn't all happen to be journalists as well, would you?
No. No.
How did you know? No, I couldn't. I'm not entirely sure what we could have in common other than a common acquaintance. I suppose we could start with how we know him. I wonder if that would help. I'm unsure.
Sure.
I mean, I know, I'm one of the benefactors of his, work, as it were. Kind of vested interest.
All
Just
right.
one arch eyebrow. Which particular work, I wonder?
The philanthropy. You know, the Cordova estate is substantial, and I felt, as much as I enjoy wining and dining, and I do intend to wine and dine as far as it takes me, I would like to at least leave something better behind than the other Cordovas did. So,
Oh, hey.
Mr. York happens to be a little better at it than I am, so you may as well put the money in the hands of the people who can do good with it.
Oh, generous.
Maybe.
Hopefully. We can all hope for the best, can we? As for myself, my younger sibling is a personal associate of York's, and I am retrieving them, we shall say.
Retrieving.
It's been a while. They've also been very interested in philanthropy, although one cannot help but wonder where exactly the family funds go to, per se. Certainly no accounts that I'm familiar with, but... And I miss them, but that is aside the point. I'm just worried. But
Family's
Mr. York
important.
says he knows, so here I am. And yes, occasionally. You, Monsieur Moore?
Well, I mean, I work at one of the mines that he has either ownership or stock in, or I don't know what, back over in Colorado. And while we unionized recently, since I know most of the other workers, I am what they all like to affectionately call the face of their union. I don't hold any real sway, but I'm sure Mr. York is well aware that I could convince them to agree to things, even if it's not in their benefit, if he convinced me.
Don't seem to hold a very high opinion of him.
He's a boss, not much else about him. He doesn't come to the States very often to actually oversee things. He just pays the checks so far as I'm aware.
So business is money, yes? This is what seems to be our common thread.
So far, yes.
Presumably.
Makes the world go round.
Say for our journalist here.
The journalist, having noted everything down, just looks up like,
Well, we
Yes,
all
you.
Yes, you. We all listed our reasons for knowing Mr. York. You're the odd man out here, so.
oh, right, sorry, puts the notebook down. For me, well, I mean, you don't really get scoops in Dundee of all places.
Where is that? Never heard of it.
Scotland.
Okay.
I see your point.
Yeah, you get one killer every once in a while, and a lot of rain, and a charity event. Not much.
Well, when you write about us, I certainly hope you'll write something nice.
Well, that depends on the company. And you've made a good first impression so far.
Lovely to hear.
Be sure to write something terrible about me. I want my father to have a heart attack.
I'll keep that in mind.
Ooh. That sounds more interesting, actually.
He doesn't. He doesn't speak English, but I'll be sure to translate it personally and send you the notes.
Okay, sure. Well, speaking of Mr. York, I did try and have a chat with him just then, but it looks like he's preoccupied at the minute.
Meeting with someone else, or?
I don't know. Well, I got told what car he was in, and he wouldn't answer the door, so I guess he might be sleeping still.
this may seem a bit of an uncouth question, but have any of you fine people? Have any of you met him personally?
Nay.
Nope.
Once or twice, you know, you want to make sure you have a face to put to where your money is going, but it's been some time.
Well, at least one of us could perhaps recognize him in a crowded train car.
Yes. And speaking of which, as one of the people putting money in his pocket, I don't like being stood up. So, shall we?
Oh, now?
shall.
Well, if you insist.
If he's not going to come out to us,
Take the drink with you. It's all paid for.
exactly.
Offers an elbow to Sybil.
Takes it. Shall we?
Lead the way, mademoiselle.
All right.
All right. You head towards the green sleeper car. Just in time, too, because heading into the dining car, yelling very loudly, is another French woman, this one dressed in the finest of fine clothes and jewelry. Like, we're talking at least 2 levels above Sybil Cordova, that level of fine clothes and jewelry. And she sounds
Empress
pissed
level.
about something. And you just duck out of the way of all that and head back into the green sleeper car. As you do, car number 2, the one that's right next door, that door opens and a young, disheveled young man in a very thick, like, fur coat steps out, leans out of your way, says "excuse me" in Russian, and scoots over towards the dining car.
Up, извини. Wait. Sort of calls out to him in Russian to get his attention.
Yes?
Как тебя зовут? What's your name?
Yannick Hopf.
Do you know Mr. York?
Monsieur York, in the cabin next to mine, yes? He came in for, how you say, quick coffee after heading into private car. Hasn't left since. I would have heard him. Wall on my side is unfortunately thin.
My condolences. Well, thank you. Спасибо, Yannick. Maybe we can catch up later.
Yeah,
Always nice to hear someone speaking the mother tongue.
Of course.
Well, that sounded interesting.
2 statements about him being a little quiet right now. I guess maybe he's taking a nap.
Hopefully.
Well, either way, he's gonna have to wake up for me, so.
Right, okay.
Oh, this will be good.
All right. More knocking on the door and more lack of answer from cabin number 1.
With like a little practice movement, sort of kind of tosses the cane up so that the grip is in the middle of it and uses the fucking like knocker of it to like really knock on the door.
Yeah, it's loud as hell. There's no answer.
Huh.
Merci.
Man must really know how to take a nap, it seems.
No. I think he would have heard that.
Either he's somewhere else or... Well, hopefully he's somewhere else. You're sure you didn't see anyone of his, anyone who could have been him, right, Mrs. Cordova?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't.
I guess, yes. Thank you, voice in the sky. I guess we'll ask around, maybe see if we can get, presumably, one of the workers would have keys to get us in there.
That's a bit intrusive, innit?
Sorry?
It's a bit intrusive, innit?
He didn't
Aren't you
answer.
a journalist?
I do ask to be let in.
Sybil,
The obvious had to be said.
I'm a journalist, not a detective.
Mr. Garden, you need to understand. When things don't happen, sometimes you have to grease the wheels to make things happen for you. And in my case, greasing the wheels means going and asking someone to do the thing I want them to do. So, that's what I'm going to do.
I did climb through a window once, if that counts.
Ooh, good. You're getting a head start on your life of crime. You'll be plus after all.
Oh, wonderful. Right, I'll just omit that from the notes. Yeah, let's go ask someone.
All right. The conductor on the green train is still here, still reading her newspaper.
Hi. This may seem a little abrupt, but our acquaintance, Mr. Clinton York, we were told he's in his room, but he hasn't responded to any of our, attempts to get his attention, and we're a little concerned. You wouldn't happen to have a key or anything like that we could use to just check on him, would you?
She just stares at you for like a solid 5 seconds before sighing, standing up, pulling a key ring out of her pocket, and like not even asking you to move, just stomps her way past all of you towards Clinton York's cabin.
Thank you.
Thank you, mademoiselle.
Looks at the door to see if there's a do not disturb sign. There is not. Puts a key in, twists it around, mutters something in French. It's not even locked, she says.
Shrug.
And she opens the door, gestures towards to let you in, not even looking inside.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Peer in, ladies first.
Hopping on in, taking a little look around.
All right. You hop on in, turn the lights on, and inside on the floor is familiar to you, at least, Sybil, the shape of the esteemed Mr. Clinton York. He's got an impeccably tailored tan 3-piece suit, slicked back, red hair, and he's also got several stab wounds in him.
Oh!
What was that? Valentine's like behind everyone.
Well, Sybil turns. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is Mr. York has been murdered. The good news is we're dealing with a murder mystery on a train.
Can we just go back 5 seconds then?
I fail to see how that's good news.
What did you just say?
Because it's a murder mystery and we are on a train and it would have had to be someone on the train. This is a closed circuit. Come on, you're a journalist. This is incredibly exciting. Excuse me, Sybil turns and like looks over the body like, oh, I knew him. This is actually quite sad. Anyway, starts to look around.
He said he's a journalist, not a detective. Oh.
Yeah, I just charge
Excuse me,
into
I
the
need to get some water. I'll be right back.
I just charge into the room. Has he been dead for a while, do you think?
Go ahead and roll to check that.
Sure. What am I rolling again? Sorry.
D6.
D6. 6.
Oh, okay, wow, 6. That's great and terrible, because it gets you all the information you want, but because you rolled the maximum number, you're also risking your mind.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, you take a look at Clinton York's body, do some basic checks to see, hey, how long has it been since he died? And the answer is not very long, couple minutes, like 30 minutes at the most. So definitely not enough time for someone to have gotten on the train when it stopped and then gotten off. It's more than likely someone on the train murdered Clinton York. And as you look into him, you just get this smell that enters your nostrils. It's almost like the burning of coal and smog and steam that you would associate from being like outside of a train, but it feels much hotter, much more acrid, like acidic, and it is a smell that seems to go straight up your nostrils all the way up to your brain. It is not a pleasant sensation. Please roll your insight dice for me.
Okay, which is
D6?
Okay.
Oh, 6! All right.
Oh no!
Oh, rolling high today, baby.
That smell is going to stick with you for the rest of your life, and you're always going to associate it with this dead body and death and all sorts of other nasty things. Go ahead and increase your total insight to 2.
All right. Does it make me feel sick?
Yes.
Is there a window?
Yes.
I just immediately bolt to the window and chuck out.
Oh!
Sorry. It's never good with dead bodies.
Understandable. I'm going to also look around, but as she just like, we should probably tell the people running the train, right?
Probably.
I got a 1.
I'll
got a
probably
1.
say, but Valentin like kind of like fucked off to go get some water and like take a breather. He probably already told like the fucking conductor, the green car conductor, Mademoiselle Lagarde, because she's right there and just pardon, извините, пожалуйста, excuse me, Mademoiselle Lagarde, there is a bit of a problem. Monsieur
What
York
now?
Monsieur York is dead.
Was it fucking days? And then she continues cursing in French, heading over to the car again. Sybil, with your 1 in detectiving, looking around the room. Looks pretty neat and tidy.
Wow! He got stabbed!
He got stabbed!
Nathaniel's just leaning against the wall, hands in pockets, looking around like, yep, that's a dead body.
All right. Mademoiselle Marine Lagarde enters the room, sees the dead body with all the stab wounds in it, looks around. All right, which one of you did it?
Well, unfortunately, none of us.
You was the only ones who were interested in seeing Monsieur York?
I mean, yeah, but
Dominic just
we
keeps his
thought the
mouth
door was
shut.
locked.
We literally just came to ask you to open the door because we couldn't find him. Why would we do that?
To prevent an alibi?
No. No. Look, Sybil, like, I need you to look at me for a second.
What?
I need you to, I couldn't do anything to anyone. Someone like just gestures to her tiny stick figure self. I want you to really think about this for a moment. I need you to understand, and then she holds up her tiny wrist. This is not strong enough to support a knife, actually. I don't think I'd manage to break the skin.
Dominic takes out like a little handkerchief thing and just dabs at his mouth, puts it back and just goes, he's been dead for at least half an hour. I'd say we've been on here for what, like slightly less than half an hour?
Yeah, we only just started and we've been in the dining car for most of the time we've been here. We only had like time.
We came in, you, monsieur, asked about your luggage, and then we went directly to the dining car, ordered drinks, spoke a bit, and mademoiselle, I reported this to you.
She gives another long, heavy sigh.
I don't want to make trouble or make a fuss. This is why I told you first.
There is going to be a fuss as soon as word of this gets out.
I'm
That
not
is
telling
kind-
anyone. Sorry, go ahead, Monsieur Moore.
No, that's kind of what death does.
Yeah. Here is how this is going to go, and simultaneously, here is how I know word is going to get out. I cannot exactly leave a dead body unreported, so either I call the police, and they board at Strasbourg and delay the whole train, and they are the ones who spread the word, very indelicately, because you know Strasbourg police. Or we manage to find the killer before we get there, and we keep this all quiet.
I like those odds.
We've got a mission then, apparently.
I'm looking at you. I am looking at you, Sibyl Kotova. I am looking at you, and I do not like those odds. Look at you. You have tiny wrists. You are very short. You can't do anything.
It's true, I can't.
However, we're on the Orient Express. She can pay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Loose lips have confessions, yes?
Loose lips have confessions. And as long as this train doesn't stop, odds are our culprit is here. So I'd say we're better off trying to find them while this train is still going.
You have a few
Mademoiselle,
hours before
sorry.
we reach Strasbourg.
How many's a few?
As many as the GM thinks are reasonable for the narrative.
Okay.
That seems reasonable, thank you.
There is more than one stop on this leg of the Orient Express. All right. And with that, not even saying goodbye, Mademoiselle Lagarde turns and heads out of the car.
Well,
And handled that better than most.
this certainly is a
So, not to stereotype, but am I the only one getting a bad vibe from the French on this train?
It's because you're American.
It's true.
I mean, if you were used to it, you'd be used to it. Also, it is because you are American. I don't know what
That's
else to say.
That's fair.
She's just trying to do her job, Miss Cordova.
Okay.
Her job doesn't. Why are you so? Why are you so keen on murder and bodily harm? I must ask.
Oh, just find it to be a little fascinating.
Ugh. We all have our hyper-focuses.
It's just, always been a fascination of mine. Chalk it up to, early childhood experiences, I guess.
Hmm.
You know, death hits your family early and you never stop thinking about it. Which, unfortunate, but, you know, we have mystery and we have a few hours to solve it, so I think we should, start doing some whodunits.
Yes. Monsieur Moore, how are you doing with all of this? You've been kind of a, stoic. I wish I could be as stoic as you.
It's a dead body. Not the first I've seen. Won't be the last.
Well, hopefully somebody else other than that dead body signs your paychecks, yeah?
I'm hoping so, but this trip's paid for. I'm not caring past that at the moment.
Actually,
Well, hopefully.
Sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
I was just about to say, speaking of the dead body, it smells like coal.
Cole?
Aye, coal.
Not usually what they smell like, I believe.
Sybil like sniffs the air, like like just very pointedly, like what? I have to check.
You have to see what it smells like.
Well, I mean, we are on a coal burning train. Not necessarily my expertise. In the meantime, please don't mind me. And Valentin's gonna start going through his personal effects.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Roll for that.
Yeah!
Yes, sir.
You find his brain.
Not that personal. That did not work. We'll figure it out. That doesn't seem correct. I am apparently incapable of rolling a die.
I just type in /R and then click command so that it knows what to do.
Alright,
And then I
/R
type
click
in.
command. Got it. /R.
Yep. Click.
/R. Roll. Sides. D6 plus one more.
So
I'm gonna roll this and hopefully it gives me another number.
okay. Hopefully.
I wanna believe.
Okay. I think that means I did it right. Okay. I think so.
All right. Cool. 6.
Hooray!
Jeez.
All right. So, you start rifling through his personal effects. He brought a decent number of suitcases onto the train. There's like suits, jackets, various other, travel essentials that you would expect from a well-to-do, highfalutin man. There is a letter, looks like a to-do list on board, well, obviously on board because you're on the train, but in one of his suitcases. And it's got a list of names on it. Crossed off, one of the names is Khonshu, and then the name right below that is Leo Mannheim, followed by the name right below Leo Mannheim, Damir Nikolic. It's a very short list. It's just got those 3.
And Khonshu is the only one that's crossed off, right?
Khonshu is the only one that's crossed off. And as you're investigating, you also get the awful, awful smell of, like, burning coal and rotting smog that permeates your brain. Go ahead and roll again for me, see if that affects your insight.
Four.
It certainly does. That is the worst thing you've ever smelled and probably ever will smell. Your insight's now 2.
Great. Sort of shakes out handkerchief, just clamps it over mouth and nose.
While Val is going through the stuff, Nathaniel's just gonna nudge the door closed with his foot so it's not as easy for anyone walking by to see us doing that.
Yeah, smart call, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I was going to roll to see who's passing through the train.
Dominic is holding his breath, notebook's back out. He's taking note of, like, not only what's on the body, but everything that's in the room, like, everything, because he never misses a detail.
Okay. Doing some more investigation then, are you?
Yes, please.
Go ahead and roll for it.
Do I have to? No, joking. Right,
Yes.
1d6. 5.
5, okay. In Cthulhu Dark, that's the best thing you can roll, because you get everything you want and then a little bit extra.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Alright. So, you take note of everything around the room. It looks neat and tidy, like there wasn't much of a struggle. So, whoever came in and stabbed, with multiple stab wounds, it should be said, took Clinton York by surprise. You note on the body the exact nature of the knife wounds. They do smell, but while they also look very nasty, like there was some kind of infection in the wounds, they also simultaneously look cauterized.
Oh. Okay. I will note this down. So they're burnt, essentially.
They look infected, but they are burnt to the point of, like, closing up and stopping the bleeding.
Okay. Does it look like it was burnt after they were stabbed, or did the weapon burn them?
While he was stabbed, it was, like, simultaneously cauterized.
What does the stab wound look like? Is it thick, thin?
It looks pretty thick, like a pretty sizable blade must have done this.
Oh, so it's not like a poker or anything.
No, it's not a fire poker.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, he'll note this down, and then just say, now, correct me if I'm wrong, which likelihood in early stages I probably am. This looks burnt shut.
Yeah, that tracks.
Maybe, now I'm not no doctor or anything, but if they were using some kind of dagger of sorts, maybe it was heated.
And how exactly would they do that?
Well, that's why I'm
Good
asking
point.
you guys. Like I said, I'm
Well,
no doctor.
Well, if you're smelling coal... See, I'm picturing someone just carrying around coals and sticking a knife into it and pulling it out, which doesn't sound like a thing that people can do, but that is what I just pictured.
Well, I was thinking maybe a poker, but then the wound's too wide. A poker would do like a little dot, if anything.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I get a bit of air?
By all means.
Sorry, this smell is just... He, like, walks out, closes the door behind him, and just, like, walks to another carriage just to take a breath.
Alright.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes?
you just head down the hall of the green car. You hear some, like, faint jazz music coming from one of the carriages in the green car, and that's the one you stop outside.
Yeah, that's fine. Just having a mental breakdown with jazz.
Yep, jazz to accompany your mental breakdown. Anyway, Valentine, you were saying something?
Does the name Honshu mean anything to you?
A what?
Can't say
The okay. Yes. Sort of brings out the note and like shakes out the map that was given and just 3 names. One is crossed out. The crossed out one is Honshu, and that is in private car
Private car.
that we are kindly asked not to enter.
I see. And then the other 2 names seem like they're also on this list, because I see the Leo.
Yes. Mannheim in the green, and then Nikolic in the not on yet, actually, joining at Strasbourg. So we can cross that off as a potential murderer, so
Yeah.
that's good at least. So we can... Well, all 4 of those we can cross out.
Well, you know, unless they got on before they were supposed to.
I mean, perhaps.
It's possible, but unlikely.
Oh, so is someone getting killed in their own room with no one noticing it?
I mean, true, but it's just... Never mind. Okay, well, we've got some names here. I suppose. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what. I mean, my thought would be to approach them, but it's like, hey, hello there, Leo. I don't know you. You don't know me, but you're on this list from this dead man.
Well, we could scratch out the dead man part.
Yes.
Say that Leo, like you said, who is an accessible car to us without too much effort, say our mutual associate / business partner mentioned you, wanted to meet you, we're curious, so on and so forth, just need to figure out who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a smart way to go about it, I think. Well, well, we could definitely talk to Leo. Sybil, like, kind of glares down the car, like, where the private car would be, like, how much do you want to bet the real juicy stuff is in the private car we can't access?
100%. That's what I'd usually be if I wasn't invited.
Well, I mean, nothing on this map says we can't go to the private car. It just says don't go beyond that.
Well, true. Technically speaking, it does indeed say that. Sure. And I mean, there are only 2 passengers in the private car, so which avenue do you think would be the most beneficial?
I mean, I'd start with Leo since he's in the car we're in.
There.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully our friend isn't doing too badly. There aren't exactly too many accessible windows out in the hall.
Yeah, should be fine.
Oh, by the way, when you were searching his body, you didn't happen to find a room key on him, did you?
Did I?
He has his room key on him, yes.
Good.
Let's lock this
Good
door.
call. Yep. Click, click. Lock that behind us. Maybe keep the window open too, to keep the smell going out of it as well.
Yeah, I think that's for the best.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, you all step out of Clinton York's room, lock the door behind you, and head over towards Mr. Mannheim's car. There is a sign that's hung on the door, reading in various languages, "Out to lunch."
Well, I guess he's not directly in this car.
Is anyone hungry?
Seems so.
Sure.
All right. Mr. Garden, are you going to the dining car, or are you still going to be freaking out with jazz band?
No, I will go to the dining car unappetized.
Cool.
Like, as they walk along, Sybil, like, kind of catches Dominic. Come on, we're gonna go to the dining car.
Oh, are we? Lovely. Yeah, let's go.
All right. So, you head into the dining car. As you open the door, like a little bouncing ball rolls by you, and a young giggling child just dashes between your legs after it, and you hear the half-hearted crying of the really rich-looking French woman from before, calling after him, Julian, stay in this car! And then she mutters something in French, going back over to the maître d'hôtel to complain more at him. Other than that, the dining car hasn't changed all that much from when you entered it. Yannick has moved over to the royalty, the German royalties table, and is currently in a heated shouting match with the older German gentleman there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
The 2 French women are still gossiping. They have ordered some more drinks and are just sipping and looking with very hungry, very delighted eyes at the argument. And looking even more uncomfortable now is the lone man with the balding hairline and the suitcases you won't let anyone touch, still looking at his pocket watch, tapping his foot very quickly.
Well,
So this, sorry, go ahead.
something's happened here.
This heated argument, it's very loud. What are they arguing about?
They're arguing in German. Do you speak German?
Nope.
I speak Russian, English, a tiny bit of German in terms of English is also a Germanic language, and tiny bit of French because that's fashionable, but no, not fluently. Alas.
Yeah, from your where's the bathroom level expertise of German.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems to be an argument about wealth and status. Like you can't get you can't get words, but you get that general vibe.
Should I interfere? Should I not interfere? Fortune favors those who don't. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't see a reason to interfere with them.
Well, I can't let the fellow Russian, or at least Russian speaker, go completely alone against the wolves. So I will be right over there, I suppose.
Okay.
Fair.
Alright.
Sort of slide on over in the way only someone raised in noble courts can, and just kind of make oneself known in terms of presence, and just kind of to Yannick in Russian, what did they do to you?
Yannick stops yelling long enough to take a breath. This is Elisa. She is a very lovely woman. He gives a small wave to Elisa. She waves back. The old gentleman grabs her arm and puts it down. And that is Magnus Schaefer. And he is an old would-be royal pig.
Oh.
I see. Sort of, do you mind if I give you a little bit of, maybe not advice per se, but just a friendly conversation? So it sort of turns to the two of them. Excuse me, извините, es tut mir leid, kind of like takes Yannick by the elbow and kind of steers him away a little bit.
You hear Magnus muttering something about, great, there's a Russian mob after us now.
Yeah, well, whatever. My friend, you will get nowhere with people like that by yelling. Here, come. You're making a scene. Let's sit down. Tell me a little bit about what's going on. Maybe I can help you out.
All right. You take a spare seat. So Yannick takes a deep breath, gets a glass of wine, chugs it immediately, orders a second one.
Just bring the bottle. Thank you, monsieur. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Well, as you can no doubt see, Elisa is beautiful. The most beautiful woman in the world. We have something going. It would be something stronger were it not for the old... He says something very nasty in Russian that you know exactly what it says. I'm going to leave it up to the audience's imagination.
just the raised eyebrow raises even more. There's a bit of a smirk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's old blood and old money in every single sense of the word, and has no interest in changing his ways, even if it was for the betterment of everyone in society.
Let me give you a bit of free advice, one might say. If Elisa also cares about you as much as you care about her, she will make him change. That is guaranteed. Old men will always bow down to their daughters and granddaughters. That is the way of life. As for nobility and old money, sort of raises a finger. I know you have a lot to say and a lot to think about it, but there come many benefits from having access to said things, so...
Benefits for them, never anything for the common man.
Well... what I was saying was more along the lines of... You play your cards. Elisa, if she is as enamored with you as you are with her, she will also work magic on her side, and who knows, perhaps you will be one with access to Schaefer fortunes. But it does not do too well to make grand scenes in the middle of a crowded train car.
Go ahead and roll to see how much faith Yannick puts in your words, real quick.
Sure. A 2.
A 2. The advice is appreciated. It is always nice to have someone from the motherland on my side. But I'm afraid on one point we disagree. Sometimes it is grand gestures, grand movements that really get the point across.
Is that so? Well,
No.
if he is as Germanic as he looks, I hope you're not getting off the train at Strasbourg. We'll say that.
Oh god, no.
Exactly.
I would not pick up that in Strasbourg.
A man after my own heart. Well, here, Yannick, the bottle is here. Let's drink a while and at least let Elisa smooth things over a little bit before you go over again, yeah?
Yeah, cheers.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Alright. So, while the discussion with Yannick is happening, what is everyone else doing?
I'm muttering under my breath. Ugh, rich people.
Nathaniel's just going to straight up approach the bald man with a really fast tapping leg.
Let's go.
So, you approach, you sit down, the bald man looks up, opens his mouth, closes, puts on some glasses and adjusts them. Forgive. I take it you are not Clinton York.
Oh, no, not Clinton York. I'm an associate of his, though.
I see. Tell me, has he also, what is the word? Ghosted you?
Oh, he was, but we managed to catch up with him. I actually would like to guess. Are you Leo, I assume?
Yes, that is correct. Mannheim. Leo Mannheim.
A pleasure to meet you. I am an associate of his, Nathaniel Moore. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Forgive my assumption, Mr. Moore, but you do hard work. Yes, deep work in industry, correct?
That would be correct.
Good. I am I am an industrialist. It is always nice to see the men with boots on the ground, so to speak.
Don't typically get enough recognition, I always think.
Which is of course a shame. Men like me, we are men of ideas and funding. Men like you are the cogs that run the machine.
Yep, and without the other, neither one can work.
Exactly. That is German efficiency. Something unfortunately Americans do not understand.
Not all Americans. Some are better than others.
Yeah, some, like Mr. York. Though my opinion is slightly souring, as I have been waiting for him for, at least half an hour now.
Yes, I understand that feeling. So, I will be clean with you. He actually sent me over here to discuss matters with you.
Well, most unorthodox, but at least it will get this matter done.
Yes.
He leans over the table and, like, whispers furtively, "Do you have it?"
And that depends. Do you?
He taps the suitcase next to him.
So it seems he was right. You didn't chicken out on this.
I am a man of honor.
Oh, of course. Just, you can understand the reservations he might have.
Yeah. Especially for something like this, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Well, he told me that if I didn't come back, he would assume you had your end of the bargain, and he would be bringing it himself shortly. How's about a game of chance while we wait? And Nathaniel pulls out a really beat-up deck of cards.
What do you have in mind?
Oh, we can play anything of the sort. Be it blackjack, rummy. Trust me, in the mines I've played them all.
I would be interested in seeing how we both approach the game of rummy, yes.
Alright, in that case, let's play.
Alright. I'm gonna roll a failure dice against you to see if you get beaten at gin rummy. Otherwise, just roll a dice. I rolled a 6.
Oh dear.
Go ahead and roll. Oh my god!
I rolled a 6.
Miraculously, the two of you are champions at rummy. So it looks like this game could go on for a while and occupy Mr. Mannheim's time so that he is very invested and distracted enough to answer some questions. But also, you are very deep into rummy. And in the middle of these games of chance, you get visions. Visions of gold, actually. Like gold, gems, all sorts of like glittering objects of wealth, more than you have ever seen in one room, let alone in your life. And the visions also have the gold melting into like this sludge and burning into an awful smog. And once again, the smell and texture fills your brain. Roll an insight die, please.
A 5.
A 5! Okay, so it distracted you, but then the thrill of the game brought you back. It's still going to be tickling at the back of your mind, though. Your insight is now 2.
You ever play a game of rummy so good that you peer into the eldritch plane?
And it's also ironic that you mentioned gems and whatnot, because the deck of cards in my hand is in fact a gemstone deck of cards.
Wow! Freaking wow! You peer to the Eldritch Plane and you see whoever is playing you. There's a group of giants around glowing screens yelling at each other. Alright. So, while the game is going on and while the discussion with Yannick is going on, let's turn back towards Sybil and Dominic, shall we?
Yes, I slink over to Miss Cordova and just go, "Oi, lassie, are those two women over there?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wouldn't mind questioning them. The problem is, I don't really think they're going to be able to understand me. If at all, I'm going to be able to understand them.
Well, I find that all women speak the language of femininity. And also, I have taken some classes in French, so... All right.
Oh, you're too kind.
All right.
All right, I will approach the women. And I just go, salut?
One of them giggles at your attempted French.
Evening, ladies.
Bonjour. How you say, can we help you?
I can. Would it be okay if we just chat here for a little bit?
Perhaps, not for too long, though. We have an engagement.
Oh, what sort of engagement?
Monsieur,
Anything exciting?
well, not Monsieur, sorry, slip of the tongue. Mademoiselle Colec, in the green car, has invited us to a violin recital. A private one. It sounds interesting and exciting.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
On a train?
You did not know? Mademoiselle Colec, she is a celebrity throughout Europe, East and West. Very, very, very skilled with the violin.
All right.
Sybil gives Dominic the most pitying, "Oh, you've never been on a train with a bunch of rich people, have you?"
A bunch of rich people.
Right, sounds lovely. I might have to have a listen in at one point. Well, that sounds great. Is that why you're on the train in the first place, or you're just on transit to somewhere?
Oh, you know, what does one get on the train except to go from one place to another?
Aye, true.
This is true, but usually the one place or the other has an interesting story or two.
They seem to be avoiding this particular question. Go ahead and roll if you want to try and pry more out of them.
Okay.
Can we go for it?
Yeah.
Got another one.
Another one. Okay.
Arguably, since you're a
Oh my god! We keep rolling sixes with the dice buds.
Since I'm a dilettante, I could argue that this
Occupation die?
My occupation die, yes.
Yeah, you've been in the society of a bunch of gossipy women before. You kind of know how to listen and what to say.
Yeah.
All right, so another six.
Yes.
Oh my god! We keep rolling sixes.
Jesus fuck.
For those of you who cannot see the chat, trust me, we're calling all this out for your benefit, and it's all sixes. All right. So, what would cause these two gossiping women to avoid a particular question? Getting a good sense of them. You chat a little bit more to try and pry them out, and you get their names actually. These are Yvette Boisseau and Rita Pratt. So, Rita is definitely an American name, so you know they speak English way better than they're pretending to. So, you get the sense that they enjoy a good sense of gossip and that few things go by on the train without them knowing and making some opinion or rumor about it. But you get the sense that they're not avoiding questions of what they're doing. Not because, they don't want the shoe to be on the other foot and people to gossip about them. It's more like they have a particular relationship. A relationship that, in 1914, might not be seen so favorably.
Ah.
Yeah, they are sitting very close for two unmarried women who do not share the same last name.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Just
you're
gals
telling
being
me
pals.
You're telling me I roll a 6 and Sybil's gaydar lights off?
The gaydar.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm very tempted to have that also branch out into the gaydar alerts you to the Eldritch Plane.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But the sudden knowledge of what a gaydar is opens your mind to times beyond your time and monitors and screens beyond ears.
Oh my God.
And somehow the knowledge of these women being gay is tempting the back of your minds. Please, both of you roll insight.
Oh my god.
1.
It's called the Boston marriage. I don't know what's so strange about it.
Okay, Sybil, you're fine.
3.
Dominic, oh my god, these women are homosexual! Your insight's now 3, Dominic.
Sybil doesn't even blink.
Oh god. This is how the rules work. Every time you roll a 6, you gotta, even if it's figuring out, hey, what's up with these women? Oh, they're gay. Okay. I guess they're going insane with the knowledge of the gays.
Oh, so
My mind has been expanded in ways I never thought were possible before.
Dominic's just kind of like don't know the easy, stop working, just thinking, wait, girls kiss?
Like, I feel like once again, Sybil, even he has not expressed this, but Sybil just gets such another like pitying. Oh my God, Dominic.
He comes from Dundee, Scotland.
Oh, honey,
in
there really is nothing but
1914.
rain there.
Oh my God. Sybil's like, so, girls, you seem like you've got the down low on what's going on this train. Seems like there's... So, since you seem like you're aware of the going-ons, you wouldn't happen to have heard anything about Clinton York.
Oh, Clinton York? I heard he was an anarchist. No, it's revolutionary. Those are different. I heard the anarchist... Oh, no. Not my place to say. Not my place to say. Of course. They giggle with each other.
Sybill's like, I'm coming around to these two. Sybill's like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Have you met him on the train?
Oh, goodness, no.
No.
Not even in passing?
Well, in passing is not really meeting. We might have caught a glimpse of him. He was wandering back and forth through the dining car over to, our car and then his car. Apparently, he got invited back into his private car as well.
Oh, is that so?
Just noting this down. Wandering back and forth. Did he look... How did he look? See him?
In a hurry.
In a hurry. Yeah, know that all too well. Right, in the
Would
private car.
Have you two been back there to the private car?
Well, we're hoping that the recital ends up being in there. Apparently, it's very good acoustics, but before now, no.
Disappointing. Well, shame. I mean, you know how it is. You hear there's a private car and you just have to know, right?
Indeed, especially knowing it belongs to Khonshu.
Gee, it belongs to Khonshu?
Oui, it is his car.
Oh, I see.
Huh.
Do you know... I've never heard of this Khonshu. Would you happen to know anything about him?
I heard he has his own private army. Well, I heard he has his own fortress up in the Pyrenees. It's not in the Pyrenees, it's in the West Indies. Well, he's got the fortress somewhere, that's what I know. And they start, debating each other in French.
Let's go,
Wow.
lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians.
lesbians.
Let's go. So Sybil's like, damn. Can I get you two ladies another drink?
Oh, yes, please. They say in
All
unison.
right.
I think that's all I'm getting out of this.
Sybil has this brief moment of like, I could abandon this mystery and just hang out with the lesbians. No, murder is more important.
Yeah. All right. Did you have any more questions, or are you tapping out of ladies.
I'm trying
Tapping
to
out.
think if there's anything else that we could like stand to ask, but I suspect I don't know if there's much more we're gonna get from them. They're
Yeah,
just
that's what I
debating the concept of anarchy right now, which, to be fair, fascinating.
All right.
Have I got some great left tube video essays for you?
Excellent. Well, in that case, if we're not debating the concept of anarchy, the one person who might still have questions slash answers would be Leo Mannheim, who is currently deep in the game of Rummy, and so distracted he might, let something slip.
Okay, so Sybil's gonna, hop on up to get that drink and kind of, unless you would like to go, Queen, by all means.
Oh no, I mean I can follow. Dominic is overwhelmed by the concept of lesbian.
God.
Mr. Garden, are you okay? As Dominic just fades into the next dimension, haunted by smell and lesbians.
Smell and lesbian.
I
Oh
am
God, when you say it like that.
I am fine. I just Now I understand why my neighbors are so close. Huh. Not that that's a bad thing. I just didn't think it was a thing.
Sybil gives Dominic another, pitying, oh, Dominic, sort of look.
Right, moving on.
Poor baby. When we get through this, I'm going to take you everywhere. You clearly need to experience the world.
I would like that a lot.
Yeah. Hands in his latest news story. Lesbians!
Alright, we're gonna approach this rummy table.
Alright. It is neck and neck at the rummy table. These are some of the best rummy players you've ever seen.
Wow. Quite the game you two have going on here.
Yes, it does seem that way.
So who's winning?
It is no longer about winning.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
Well, this is our friend Nathaniel, and I am curious about his opponent, as it were, Mr.
Mannheim, Leo Mannheim. You are also agents of Mr. York, yeah?
Agents is a bit of a strong word, but associates, maybe?
One might say I've had a vested interest.
Good. And I shall ask the same thing that I have asked your other associate. Has he also been ghosting you?
Yes! I've gotten nothing but dead silence from him since I got on this train.
God, I swear, after this game, I am going to bust down that freaking door.
I mean, I'm sure he's taking a nap or something. When I sleep on a train, I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, long trip.
Yes, but you look like a baby.
That's fair. So he's been ghosting you. Out of curiosity, how do you know, Mr. York?
He wrote to me, saying he wanted to make a deal.
What sort of deal?
A trade. I was to get, a vast sum of money, and I would provide him my services.
Interesting. Well, as one of the folks with the vast sums of money, I mean, I wouldn't want to cut out the middleman here, since the middleman is the one with the plan. But I am a little curious.
He looks up, hearing vast sums of money.
What sort of services are we talking about here?
That depends. In what shape exactly is your money?
Depends how you need it.
He looks back and forth, puts down his hand of rummy, leans in. What I was going to be paid with was a suitcase filled with gold.
I see. Sybil kind of frowns because she's like, I swear, I did not see a suitcase of gold, so...
You did not see a suitcase full of gold in the cabin?
No.
Well, there's a good reason to murder a guy, I guess. She doesn't say this. She doesn't say this. She's like, well, 'twould seem there's a reason for a murder here. That's quite the payment. Sounds like your services are quite expensive. What sort of services do you provide that would cost a suitcase full of gold?
This is something I'm gonna have you roll for.
Okay, that's fair. 3.
He leans back, takes stock of the dining car. The kind of services one does not talk about in polite company.
I can be impolite.
Yes, but the gossiping hens behind you, I do not know if they speak German. They certainly speak English, he says, shouting at them. And I know someone else who speaks German, he says, gesturing towards Marcus and Delisa.
I see.
Magnus. There's a lot of names I need to keep track of on the Orient Express.
Fine.
Completely fair. I am absolute. I'm like, I just nod and go, yes, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's so many quiet places on the train, I guess.
Yeah, you see the conundrum. I cannot speak of the business except to people who know of the business. And finding a place to speak of it is difficult.
I take the notebook and the pen. Why don't you just write it down?
Alright.
May I raise my hand in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't we have our own, like, stateroom or something like that?
That's
or,
true.
you know,
You're sharing a room.
compartment? Yeah. But we'd have our own room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm worried about people, like, going past and listening in as well.
Yannick has mentioned he can hear through the walls. That's how he
Yeah.
heard that Clinton York did not leave his room.
Yeah.
Speaking of Yannick, at this point he is going back towards the red car.
Okay. Why don't we go to the room and write it down? Unless you want to finish your game. Don't want to interrupt.
One more hand, Mr. Moore?
One more should suffice.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
I rolled a 1 on the failure die, so I'm just going to assume, congratulations, Mr. Moore, you won that hand!
Jesus Christ.
Let's go!
Wow.
A very good game. If by chance we should meet up again on another train across the Orient, I look forward to playing you again.
I agree.
All right. You point out the location of your car, head in. It's so the Orient Express is pretty luxurious. The cars aren't meant for 4 full-grown people, let alone 5. There's room. There's enough sleeping space that no one's sleeping on the floor, but it is cramped in there with 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, they were
I am-
roommates.
I am actually, while they go do that, I am going to kind of gesture, since I told Leo that I am working with Mr. York. I am going to go see what's taking him so long, essentially.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so in the car, I grab the notebook. I flick to like a sort of middle-y point of the book. So like, if I drop it, the first person who finds it, their instinct isn't to just flick to the middle of the book, flick to the first page instead. And
Alright.
just pass the notebook over to him and say, best to keep the volume quiet.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, but there are some people in the halls which would inspire keeping the volume quiet. First of all is Francois, who is the really young kid who's been playing with his ball, like bouncing it up and down the halls, against the walls, against the windows, against the doors, against everything, laughing as he does so. And also, marching towards the dining car, scooting past all of you without a word, is a very tall, pretty muscular, dark-skinned woman in what looks like African tribal warrior dress, with a massive iron bracelet around her right forearm.
Oh, I see.
Get in the room, lassie.
Sybil is looking respectfully.
Someone's looking respectfully.
100%!
I mean, mood.
All right. So, I'll talk about what happens with her later. In the meantime, in your room, Leah Mannheim pulls out a page, pulls out a pen, starts writing something down on it. Dominic, go ahead and roll both your human die and your occupation die as a journalist to interpret what he writes and hands to you, please.
Okay. Is that just 1d6 each?
Yes. Whichever's higher is the result.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we play this game few and far between that I keep forgetting the rules every time. So that's 1 and 1d6. 4.
4. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So, he's being very discreet, like even more discreet than you have suggested, not even writing down what exactly the nature of the deal was, but you have connections in journalism, like general global news. You're keeping up with stuff after, incidents in Europe, because it's kind of your job to be on top of it in case something goes down all the way in Dundee.
Yeah!
So, you recognize the name of the industrial business, basically, that he writes down, saying prime shipment from this business. You recognize it as a manufacturer of guns. Like machine guns, rifles, really state-of-the-art stuff for 1914.
Uh-huh.
So, he finishes writing, hands back the journal, taps on that with his pen, and says, the finest money can buy.
Huh. Interesting.
Quite the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you be using this for?
Me, I would be the one giving it.
Oh, right. What would they
I'm the one
be
getting the
using
money.
it for? Yeah, but what would they be using it for?
I found it best not to ask that question.
That's the kind of thing you usually don't ask about.
But you see, it's my job to ask.
It is your job. It is, however, not mine.
All right, well, could you hazard a guess?
I would find it much healthier for me if I didn't. I'm not sure how to communicate
Yeah.
that when it comes to an exchange of this nature, the less I know, the better I am.
The whole point is that he does not know.
You know what? Probably for the best.
I see.
Dominic thinks a bit more as he's reading it and then just decides to rip the page out instead and just, secrete it into his pocket.
Smart.
Neatly folded.
Now, is there anything else?
How are you feeling?
Well, anxious. I am not going to lie. I can imagine that is how anyone would feel after being, what is the word in English? Stood up?
Aye. Don't worry, it's a feeling you get used to.
I would much prefer not to get used to it. I would prefer not to feel it again.
No one should have to deal with that. No.
Right. Well, I appreciate your time, lad.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, I shall be heading back to the dining car, excuse me.
Of course.
He opens the door, heads out, almost immediately bumps into another well-dressed young man. Well, not young man, middle-aged man. He's got a graying mustache and graying hair, bowler hat, tiny glasses, and a slightly pudgy, and he's got a deep dark brown suit. Almost like bumps into him out in the hall as the other man goes, pardon me, I wasn't looking where I was going, and heads in the opposite direction of the dining car into another car as Mannheim kind of quickly heads back in the dining car's direction.
Sorry, that voice.
Meanwhile, while all that was going on, Mr. Moore, you, I'm assuming you were just hanging around outside of Clinton, New York's door, looking like you were, investigating it to see what's taking him so long.
No, I go in.
You unlock the door and go in. He is still there.
I lock it behind me. It behind me.
All right. You lock it behind me. He's still there, still dead. Nothing's been moved.
I am thoroughly searching the room because I have had visions of gold and gems.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Search for that gold. Roll for me, please.
That's unfortunate.
1. There is no sign of any gold.
Rip.
And as you are thoroughly searching, you hear just this loud bang, bang, bang on the outside of the door.
Shit. I keep quiet for a second.
Bang, 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 bang. I know you are in there.
Do I recognize the voice?
No.
How big a window are we talking about in here?
It's a fairly large size window. Theoretically, you could climb through it.
Oh my god.
Well, sounds like that's what my plan is.
Okay! Go ahead and roll a dice to climb out the window. I'm gonna roll a failure die against you because you're climbing out the fucking window of a moving train.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I rolled a 6.
That's unfortunate.
Oh no.
All right. You hurriedly slide the window up and move to crawl out of it. As you do, you hear click the door open, and as you
yes, but the window was left open.
Yeah. The window was left open. As you scamper to try and get out of it, you hear the door open, and right as you're about to get out, you feel something grab your leg and yank you back in. And you are now, on the ground, staring up at a very tall, very muscular, warrior woman of some kind of African descent.
And come here often?
She looks at you, looks at the body, and is like, "You are acting very suspicious. Shall I assume you are the murderer and dispatch you now?"
I mean, you could, but then you wouldn't find out anything about what's going on.
Then I will get answers another way.
I mean, lady, I didn't kill him. You can search me. So far as I'm aware, there's no knife in this room. Granted, yes, I could have thrown it out the window if that was the case. But seeing as he's been dead for quite some time, I did not kill him.
But you know something, and we are going to find that out.
That we shall.
She grabs you by the collar and yanks you back up onto your feet.
Strong.
She
So,
points out the door, points in the direction of the private car. Move.
as you wish.
All right. And you start heading that way right as the rest of the mystery gang exits their own car. You all see this, by the way. You'll see the woman escorting.
I do not make eye contact.
Fuck it, we ball. Valentine, who like still has like one of the they ended up ordering multiple bottles of wine, has one of them like under one arm, came with the other, sort of like raises the cane and goes, Monsieur Moore, new friend?
I believe that would be an associate of mine. He says, just kind of casually looking over his shoulder halfway.
The woman looks over at Valentine, eyes him, eyes Sybil, eyes Dominic. The friends of Clinton York?
That would be us, yes.
Associates, but I.
Come.
Oh, that saved me some time.
Raises the bottle in a little toast and follows away.
Right.
It's like, so makes a little grabby hand.
All right. You follow the woman who turns to Mademoiselle Lagarde at the far end of the train, and just says, "Khonshu wants to see them," and moves right on past, with all of you in tow, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right. So you head into the private car, and it is. Well, let me put it this way. If the Orient Express was luxurious, this is absolutely insane. You could swear there's like a whole room of polished marble on this car, just displaying like marble busts from various corners of the world, from China, from Greece, from Rome, from Africa. And that's just in the bathroom that's on the private car. The main chamber is decorated like this giant ballroom covered in like gold and gems and platinum, like gold leaf covering the floor here, with 2 chandeliers hanging from the ceiling of the private car. This is insanely luxurious. This is more money spent on a train car than some small countries have, basically. And
I need a new job.
and as you are escorted in, the woman who escorted you just stops in the middle of the room, puts her right arm to her chest, and does a small bow to a tan-skinned man sitting at a giant mahogany desk, writing some papers. He's of unremarkable build. He's got like thin black hair, not particularly muscular, around 6 feet tall. And he is wearing a very fancy tailored black suit with a red tie on him. And on the suit are cufflinks that look like the crescent moon. He looks up at you and gives a smirk. Ah, you must be the mysterious Associates of Clinton York listed on this map.
Yep.
I
was curious as to the lack of detail, but luckily for me, it seems my questions will now be answered. Namely, why is Mr. York dead, and what do you have to do with it? And on that note, we're gonna take a break. Yay! Thank you all for joining us so far. We will be back after hydration, bathroom, all that jazz, in the very fancy car. Don't go away. We'll be there soon. Woo!
All right.
Welcome back to D6 Tricks, the last stop. When last we left off, our mystery-solving gang was taken to the private car. And as they were, it turned out to be very luxurious, very expensive, and the man behind the desk seemed to already know that Clinton York was dead, despite the knowledge having no real way to get to him in that time.
So what was the last question he asked again?
Perhaps together we can find out why Clinton York is dead and what you have to do with it.
How do you know he's dead?
I am a man of many talents. The one that has gotten me the farthest, Mr. Garden, is knowing things. Knowledge is power in any nation of the world.
And how long have you known?
Not very long. I would estimate 10 minutes, 15.
So, word of mouth or snooping about?
Intuition.
Intuition.
Yes. Monsieur Mannheim. But Monsieur probably not the right word. Herr Mannheim. All these languages, they get caught in my head sometimes. Herr Mannheim is a nervous man. And also a very loud one. Very easy to keep track of. So, by the fact that he came back here and left without passing off some suitcases, tells me that something has happened with the deal that good Mr. York was planning to make with him.
That would be correct.
And I know Mr. York to be one who delivers on promises whenever he can, even doing things considered impossible. So, if he did not deliver something simple, then obviously he must be indisposed. And indisposed typically means dead.
Little hard to do a deal when you're dead. Yes, that's true.
Incredibly. Now, you four are quite the conundrum. But on so last minute, they did not have time to individually label your names, and from vastly different backgrounds. The socialite, represented by Mademoiselle Cordova. We have the engineer from Mr. Vorobanyanov. We have, of course, Mr. Moore, the miner, of all things to be on the Orient Express. And then a journalist, Mr. Garden. Now, why would the four of you be needed for a deal like this? That is one mystery I am interested in. Not my top priority, but a mystery.
Well, if we figure that one out, if you could let us know, we would appreciate that.
Actually, yes, that is true. I would also like to know.
Well, if we are both in the dark on this one, I doubt there is any sense dwelling on that. What is important, however, is what you can do for me in his place.
And what sort of deal did Mr. York have with you then, yeah?
Mr. York was going to get some gold from me, a trifling pittance really, in exchange for an artifact.
I see. So you perhaps would be the source of the gold, which would then go to our friend out there.
That
Good
would
amount
be
of
correct.
trade-off in a few train cars. Alright. Well, cards on table. Last we know of when Mr. York was seen alive and who he was in the vicinity with, it was here, in the private train car. So, as to what happened between him leaving there and becoming indisposed, I suppose that's the period of where the question begins and ends.
I understand. There's quite a lot of suspicion on me being the last one to see him before his retreat into his car. However, given that he did retreat into his car and I have remained here, I would say that takes me off the suspect list for who murdered him, yes?
Most likely,
Well,
but
It's not the strongest alibi, but
one interesting thing to note. Mr. York did have a checklist of most likely this whole exchange that he was doing amongst various people on this train car. And if you are, as I would assume, Khonshu, your name had already been marked off as though the to-do list had finished.
That is correct. I had acquired the artifact. Well, for a brief time I had acquired the artifact, and I had handed off the gold. However, that is where things become rather curious. That is the word for it, yes. To be discreet and gentle about it. You see, sometime in between him handing the artifact to me and our meeting, it had vanished from this car.
Just as seemingly the gold had vanished from his.
I cannot help but think there is a connection to this sort of thing.
Quite likely. If this artifact is of significant value, if someone caught wind of it, taking both the artifact and the gold for themselves, well, that would be a deal too tempting for most men.
It would indeed. Which makes it very inconvenient for men like me.
I'm sorry. So, you're off the suspect list because you have not left this car since you had your exchange with Mr. York, and that involved the exchange wherein you received this artifact, correct?
That is correct.
And yet the artifact has vanished from this car while you were still in it?
That is also correct.
huh. So, what are you asking us to retrieve it, or?
I am not a man who likes to leave deals unfulfilled, shall we say. If Mr. York is unable to fulfill his end of the deal, then I suppose it would fall to you, as his associates, to make sure things get through. That is why I am requesting you to retrieve either my gold or my artifact, because I would be loath to leave this train empty-handed.
Right, and if we don't?
Understandable.
Well, if we're looking for the artifact, I don't suppose you could tell us where you last saw it.
Or what it is.
Or what it is. That is also
That would help.
something
Thank
I
you.
would like to- Thank you.
That would help, yes. It was a jeweled egg.
Huh.
Like Fabergé, yeah?
Something like that, yes.
Pepper what?
Fabergé egg, the Russian craftsman, very intricate jeweled enameled eggs. I will draw you a sketch later.
Why
Very
eggs?
Why not?
What? Rich people.
Oh my god, Dominic, do you not even know about the jeweled eggs?
No, I don't.
He doesn't
And
know
what-
about the jeweled eggs, can't she? Whispers to the woman with him.
No, quite frankly enough, I don't know about the jeweled eggs. And what would suppose happen to us if we don't find it for you?
I would be a very disappointed man.
Ah,
Господин Dominic, don't ask. You don't want to know.
just blinks at you.
Monsieur
Okay.
Dominic, if I may, sort of like leans into him a little. So, Mrs. Cordova and I have what we call fuck you money. This person has an empire's worth of fuck you money.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, you suddenly flash back to the conversation you had with the gossiping French woman about how Khonshu has a fortress and a private army.
I thought they would exaggerate.
Just sort of like a gentle pat on shoulder.
Right. Noted. I suppose, looks to everyone, we will endeavor to at least attempt to find the gold or the jeweled egg.
That would be most
I just-
appreciated. I shall see to it, of course, that you are rewarded for your service.
Hey.
I just, if we're looking for this egg, I would like to. So you received this egg. It came into this room. Did you set it somewhere? Did you put it under a little tarp? I just want to hear the process of the discovery of the loss of egg.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds very silly, and I admit this will sound somewhat silly. Given that this is a private car, very few people come in and out. Therefore, leaving it in, shall we say, a suitcase leaning up against the wall would not be seen as inviting thieves to it. After all, this is a train. There is luggage everywhere. Yeah. And of course, you will notice that this is not the only room in my private car. I do have a bathroom. And I do have human needs like the rest of you.
I see. So
I didn't need to know that.
You stepped away. Just Sybil pauses, looks. Dominic, we're human beings. Anyway.
The journalist
Oh
does
my
not need to
God.
know something. Ironic.
Oh my God, Dominic. Do you
I
not
can
even know-
omit details.
Rich or poor, Dominic, everyone has to shit.
Well, except for the queen, which of course, explains our good Dominic's lack of... Sorry, king at this point in
Yeah,
time.
king.
Yeah,
But,
it's 1914.
I forget. Sorry, it seemed like 2 lifetimes. Anyway. If I may be frank, I will say, through complete courtesy, I will be so anyway, you trust this person, you trust this one completely, absolutely, and with, no issues whatsoever? Sort of, eyeing the warrior woman.
She stares right back at you, unblinking. Yes, this is Oluwasegun. She is my right hand. She does what I ask her to. That is her job. That is what she does. She does not question, she executes. So the short version, yes.
Oh, what did
One
you
never cuts
see?
off the right despite the left.
Well, ma'am, in that case, well, he was doing his business. What did you see?
I was retrieving food from the dining car.
Ah, I see. And I don't suppose anyone else potentially has a key or access to this car besides the two of you?
First of all, thank you for the subscription. Sorry to
Thank you.
disturb, but thank you for the subscription.
Ta!
Second of all, obviously the train car operators would have to come and go past this car if they were to, get to the coal wagon locomotive. I'm not that much of an obstacle to prevent people from doing their jobs to get me from place to place.
I mean, that makes sense, but that leaves me to assume that,
They would be the first
Okay.
suspects if luggage went
Yes.
missing.
Do you have to have a key to get onto this car?
If you were bold enough and successful enough to climb in through the window, perhaps you would be able to slip in that way, which would take incredible agility.
Yeah, know that much.
You had the good idea. Oluwasegun is faster.
Yeah, noticed. A little surprising, honestly. Nice surprise.
I don't suppose either of you have spoken to the conductor or anyone related to the luggage.
Yes, I have made my case to Stéphane Genet, the train master. He will be looking for the luggage, but just in case, he is an old man and very slow.
See.
If he, however, manages to find it, or if Oluwasegun manages to find what I seek before the rest of you, though, I still will have what I require, and you will be off the hook.
Well,
Perfect. Win-win from me, I would say. we have a list of people. We know quite a few people on board. Sure.
Sure.
Sort of,
Excellent.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm like
Alright.
trying to think through what to do next. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like you more garden. Do you two have any questions or anything like that?
No, I'd rather just get this found and get this on with.
I do have one question. I
Yes.
know, on the off chance we were to discover that another train passenger just so happened to have another, jeweled egg, what specific jewels are on this egg?
I very much doubt people are carrying Fabergé eggs by train besides me. And, well, obviously Mr. York.
oh my god, Dominique, don't you know you don't normally travel a train car with a jeweled egg?
It helps to get the details.
Not on a passenger train. Let me put it this way.
Right. Alright, what color is it? Jesus.
Golden.
Gold, right. Some golden goose shite here. Right, anyway, thank you. We will endeavor again to get the golden jeweled egg. Fuck this.
Oh my god, Dominique, you talk like you've never seen a gold jeweled egg before.
Glares daggers at you.
Alright. And as you're yelling about rich people, there's a loud squeal as the Orient Express brakes to a stop. Yeah. Strasbourg! All departing for Strasbourg! All arriving from Strasbourg! Obviously, you made it to Strasbourg.
Hey.
Great.
I want to see if I can take a look and see who gets off the train.
That's a good idea.
If anyone does.
Yeah. Spine time.
Alright.
While they're watching for people getting off, I'm gonna watch for whoever carries a suitcase onto the train, because we know that's probably our third transaction.
Oh, good shout.
Okay. So, there are a couple of passengers who get off the train. A bunch of people who speak German mostly, so probably locals returning home or the closest thing to home they can. No one you've met before. In the dining car, there is some talk with Magnus Schäfer, as he is immediately putting down money for another ticket all the way to Constantinople. Because apparently, from what German you know, he was going to get off at Strasbourg, but apparently Elisa was not.
Commitment.
Commitment.
And for people getting on, there's some with like smaller suitcases, ones that can be carried and stored in sleeping cars that don't have to be moved all the way into luggage. Couple with larger luggage that's just moved back into the two luggage cars, and the four that you recognize from well, you don't necessarily recognize them at first sight, but you're going to wager it's the four that get on at Strasbourg, because there's a group of 4 people that are whispering amongst each other in Serbo-Croatian.
Mm-hmm. I was about to ask.
They discuss with each other. One of them with like a big old brown clip-on hat, like a paperboy hat, basically. I don't know the exact terminology for it.
Yeah.
And a thick
Yeah.
brown trench coat. Nods to the others, starts heading back in the direction of Sleeper Car Red and the baggage cart. Another one in like a button-up shirt, but no suit jacket to go with it. He's got overalls and suspenders holding up his dress pants. Heads towards the green sleeping car. The others just stay in the dining car at a table, order some lager.
Right.
Huh.
these the
anyone
kind
get
of
off?
people?
No one you knew get off. No one you knew went off.
Cool.
I really hope these aren't the kind of people that Sasha was involved with, but sure. Sure. Alright. What do we know? We know that Magnus and Lisa have been within view, right? They've been in the dining car. Yvette and Rita also. Same. Mademoiselle Coquelin and her charge, Julian. Mademoiselle has been around. Julian has been going back and forth. So, young child, but I don't know, someone to keep an eye on. We know Celine Kolek, the violinist. Leo Mannheim has been in the dining car. You mentioned you heard the band playing. Clinton York, obviously. Guests of, obviously. So we are missing James Martin and a Dr. Ludwig Starker. In terms of who's the people that we know, or do not know, rather.
And then there is also a handful of the staff that we have not personally had run-ins with.
Correct.
Right.
Personally, I have a bit of suspicion when it comes to Yannick, the young man in the fur coat that I was speaking with. He's a little troubled, and he also kind of left and went back, and also at least confirmed to have seen Mr. York. So keep an eye on him. But otherwise, staff, James Martin and Dr. Starker. Yes? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Seems so.
Here's the people to look into.
Would James Martin have happened to be the one that Mannheim bumped into before, do you think?
Sorry, I would not know.
I'm just
Let's
trying
keep
to...
track of.
Yeah, I'm trying to make deductions on it. Well, I guess the best thing we could do is either go seek them out or just keep an eye out.
I'd say seek them out. I think best to be active.
Direct to the point. Woman
I
after my own
agree.
heart.
Just keep a bit of distance from those Slavs, perhaps.
Why?
You get a nose for these sort of things.
Okay.
All right.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Okay. Khonshu, I don't suppose. I guess my question would be if we run into any resistance, would it be okay to use your name to grease the wheels, as it were? Or do you want this kept on the down low?
Traveling back in time to when you were talking to Khonshu, he did not follow
Sorry,
you.
I didn't realize we'd. I'm sorry, I didn't realize we'd left.
It's all right. I wasn't super clear, but either way, for the sake of making this convenient,
Thanks.
I would prefer my name be only used when it is directly necessary. Names have power, Miss Cordova.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, good, thanks. Sorry.
Fine. Great. In which case, I'd like to try and find the guy who bumped into Mannheim before.
All right.
Which direction did he go?
Green car.
Then green car we go.
Alrighty. You head over to the green car towards the cabin where Dominic Garden saw the mustachioed gentleman run after he bumped into Mannheim. Lights on in there, so he appears to still be inside.
All right, I will knock on the door.
Come in. It's open.
I enter.
You enter. The place is very well decorated. It's a very similar layout to Clinton York's car and, your car as well, but very neatly made, very tightly, everything stacked up in very precise manner. Like, suitcase right next to another suitcase, all that stuff. And the mustachioed gentleman in the thick brown suit adjusts his glasses and is like, hello there. Yeah, you must be the ones, along with Mr. Mannheim, who I bumped into on the way here. Dreadfully sorry. I hope I didn't spill anything on you on the way. That would be terrible. With how much outfits cost these days, I would hate to have left a stain. If there is any stain, you have my sincerest apologies, and I shall do my utmost to clean it.
Nay, it's no problem, sir. You didn't spill anything. Pleasure.
Jolly good, yes.
Hold a hand. Dominic Gordon, sir.
Martin. James Martin. He shakes her head.
Yes, I did it. I use my Phoenix Wright deduction skills.
So proud.
Right, it's a pleasure. I was just wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions whilst I'm here.
Questions? Well, I am naturally one for conversation. I don't know how much questions I have to that are available to answer. Might be a few questions that slip through in my conversation. That's just how I talk. Don't mind me. You have questions. I'm not letting you ask them. Go ahead, ask.
Oh, you're the exact kind of guy I love to interview, man. And takes out the notebook again. Right, so, if you don't mind me asking, Mr. Martin, what's your profession?
Oh, I'm a businessman. I'm a traveler. I often go by these trains. Very lovely trains. Orient Express, best in the world. I've been on several, and there's nothing that really tends to your attention quite like the Orient Express.
Ah, I see. So you're on commute, I suppose?
Yes, that I am. Everyone on here is on here for the same purpose, going from one place to another.
Right, are you off to Constantinople or another destination?
I intended to leave at Vienna, which is, I believe, let me check my ticket. Yes, that is the second. No, that's the middle stop. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I'm looking at this ticket wrong. I thought Vienna was the last stop. It's Belgrade. Belgrade's the last stop. That's right.
Belgrade. Okay, that's fine. Right. So, is it just you by yourself, or are you at least somewhat associated with anybody on this train?
I'm rather a last minute. I picked up a solo ticket, one of the only ones they had left, as far as I'm aware. They don't give these tickets out to just anybody, you know?
Ah, that's all right. So, how long have you been on since which stop?
I got on at Paris.
Paris, right. Now, I don't suppose there's been anything untoward you've noticed. Not to be too forward, but there's been whispers about. I'm just wondering if you've picked up on anything suspicious.
Whisper. Well, admittedly, I also have been picking up on some of these suspicious activities. Mr. Mannheim, who I bumped into, he seemed very furtive in the dining car, very, very apprehensive, as if he was hiding something. Call it my natural curiosity. That's why I happened to be outside of his room rather closely. I thought I might, catch a glimpse, or maybe a whisper of what he was up to. That is, of course, when we bumped into each other, quite literally, in fact.
You were listening in?
Not intentionally. I happened to be in the area.
Right, listening in by accident. Okay,
yeah.
So...
speaking of which, though, you also happened to be in the area. Might I ask how you know Mr. Mannheim?
Well, I don't really. The others are here, aren't they, or not? Was it just me?
Are you here?
I don't know.
I presumed you went on your own, so
Yeah, that's
at
fine.
the very least, Valentine's not there.
Yeah.
Had no reason to go
I
with.
assumed that you just went for it, so
Okay.
That's fine. I don't know if anyone followed me on.
nope, by all means, Godspeed.
Yeah.
I don't really know the guy personally. Couldn't say the same about other acquaintances of mine. You'd have to ask them.
Other acquaintances, yes. There was a bit of a group there. How do you know them?
Well, again, only just met them like an hour or so ago. we were all invited by one Clinton York.
Oh, yes, Mr. York, quite the fascinating specimen of a man. They say he's a philanthropist. They also say he's a bit of a revolutionary,
Yeah,
which is a burning word in these trying times.
Yeah, specimen is one word for it. Do you know much else about him besides that?
I would, well, fascinating and specimen, those are words with which I associate people whom I would very much like to know more.
Right, well, maybe I'll get to know him sooner or later. Just scribbling all these notes down, trying to get his head bearings.
Are you aware? How aware are you of Mr. York and his activities?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd only been talking to him for like, what, a month or so I knew surface level. I think, again, my associates would know a little bit more.
Indeed. But thank you for indulging an old man, my good man. Like I said, I put questions in the middle of your questions. It's just what I do.
No, that's fine. I'll be a conversation.
Obviously, I am quite interested in the art of conversation. It's a dying art these days. So few people rather want to talk things out, you know?
Aye, of course. I suppose just one more thing, going back to the anything untoward thing, I don't suppose you've, not so much as people being off as things being off. Have you seen anything about?
Things being off? Well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think, racking my brain. It's sometimes difficult, you see.
Take your time, I don't mean to be rushing you.
Well, the luggage compartment seems to be rather busy. Like, I would assume that it wouldn't be checked on all that much, just occasionally by Messieurs Genet, the two of them, you see.
Monsieur Genet, all
Well,
right.
the two of them, yes. You have the map that the maître d'hôtel gave you, yes?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, there are two of them, you see. Nephew and uncle, I believe.
Oh, all right. That's good to know. Scribble.
Yeah, and as I was saying, one would assume only, occasional visits to the luggage car by those two, but I've scarcely seen Stefan anywhere. Odd from a train master, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, could be preoccupied in other things. He's the train master.
He could be, but all of them in the luggage car.
True. I suppose they might be discussing something.
Perhaps. Then again, I don't go back there that often. I spend most of my time either having a bit to nosh on or being in my quarters. So that is the most I've seen. It's more what I've not seen than what I've seen, if we put it that way.
So, what do you suppose is happening with them?
Well, surely nothing untoward. It's a conductor and a train master. Surely they are just operating on the train.
Just cocks an eyebrow at that. It's like, okay, that's fine.
Do you have some suspicion?
Honestly, this is my first time out. It's my first time out of Scotland, to be honest. A lot is happening. I'm very overwhelmed.
I was asking you out of character.
Oh, he's not suspicious on if this guy's done anything, but his manner and his observations seem a bit, Do
you want to try and get some insight from him?
You know what? Fuck it. Why don't we bump this to a 4?
Let's go!
4.
Not bad.
Not bad. All right.
Nice.
It goes all the way to 6. You've got room to grow.
Yeah, definitely. So, your insight score stays at 3 because that's just a regular human roll. Insight is a synonym.
Fine.
Anyway.
Yeah.
With the 4, you're not quite sure you have a full picture of Mr. Martin here. Like, clearly he talks a whole lot. Like, even to the point of talking over people. But it's often what a man doesn't say that says most. And he has very odd choices of focus topic for a bumbling Englishman.
Dominic
seems
will sort of
very
mention-
intent on knowing people who know Quentin York, basically.
Yeah, that's what. Dominic will keep note of this because it's definitely something he's picking up. At the same time, he does know a lot of English gentlemen. I assume he has met someone at least a tiny bit similar to him before, so...
You've met several people who babble.
Yes. Yes. So it's not an immediately red flag, red alarm, but it will be noted. So he'll just nod, click his pen back, and goes, well, I suppose I'd better be checking on my associates now, but, would you mind if I come back later, just in case I need to ask anything else?
Oh, of course, of course. It's a train. I'll be on it still.
Oh, of course. Where else? Well, been a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Of course, of course.
Shakes hand again.
All right. Meanwhile, with the rest of the mystery gang...
Yeah, I wanted to go to the luggage compartments was my plan.
Okay.
Seems like a good idea. Because that's what I was thinking.
I will actually stay behind then, because Valentine wanted to post up outside of York's compartment to see if he can catch our Nikalik or someone like that, because presumably that would be the next person in the chain of exchange.
That's
All
smart.
right. Okay. So, we'll go towards the luggage compartment as, So, Nathaniel and Sybil, you head out of the dining car, down the red car, towards the luggage compartments. And, as you do, Monsieur Zachary Genet is doing his checks on everyone in the red car, making sure everyone's comfortable, doesn't need anything while they're stopped in Strasbourg. Sees you approaching, and is like, you are, wait, you're green car, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, I can understand coming to this one instead. Mademoiselle Lagarde is, intimidating. Did you need anything, from the service? I can fetch Francis to get anything.
Oh, I just needed to get something out of my bag.
Of course, monsieur. Should still be in card number 1.
Thank you.
God.
All right. You head into the first of the luggage cars. It is piled high with rows and rows and shelves of different types of luggage.
Wow.
Some of it looks like it has been opened and then shoved back onto the shelves.
It's not normally supposed to look like that, is it?
No, I wouldn't say it's normal to go digging through luggage on an incredibly expensive train.
I didn't think so.
No. Well, dare we continue the trend?
Oh, as they say, when in Germany. Is that not what they say?
When in Germany. Sure. All right, well, let's check out this luggage that's been disturbed.
All right.
Let's.
Go ahead and roll some investigation.
6.
Oh boy!
3.
All right. So, first we'll get to the 3. You look through the luggage. It doesn't look like a typical robbery. It doesn't look like someone has, moved for wallets or any sources of money that would be stowed in the luggage compartment, because that's still there. In fact, a lot of stuff is still there. It just looks like the zippers and the shutters have not properly been shut. Just someone's haphazardly opened a bag, rifled through it, shoved stuff back and closed it, and then moved on to another one. With the 6, meanwhile, Sybil, unfortunately, this is not the first time you've had to look at someone rifling through someone else's luggage. And if they're not after the money, then they're after something very specific that they did not find in this car, so it must be in the second car. What you do find, however, inscribed into one of the bags is this sigil. And it looks like a tree of twisting branches and roots that loop into and through and out and around each other. And then as you look at the sigil, you witness it burst into flames. Go ahead and roll insight for me.
1.
Incredibly, this does not raise your insight score. You
Look at that.
Yeah, you stare at the flaming sigil, and then as soon as it burst into flames, the flames just gone, as if they were never there.
Well,
A day that ends in Y for Sybil.
day that this is normal for me. I just like Sybil like sort of blinks at it, shrugs, and then goes to check and see if there's a name on this luggage.
The name on this luggage is, Skjordison.
I see. I don't believe that matches anyone on this car, right?
It does not match anyone on the map.
Huh.
Ooh, I was only a letter off. Go me.
Interesting.
Oh wait, I forgot one S in the name.
That's fine.
I was only 2 letters off. Go me.
So, noticing a weird vibe on this luggage. Also noticing a name that does not seem to belong to anyone who's on this train.
At least not anyone we know of, at least. We've seen other people that weren't on our list.
I suppose that's true. Might not hurt to, I'll keep this in mind. I'm going to ask the train master if he's heard of this person once we, I think that our bag might perhaps be, in cart A as opposed to cart B.
It's quite likely. Shall we?
Let's!
Alright.
Soul proceeds to completely shake off the horrifying thing she experienced like it's nothing.
You just completely shrugging it off, head over to luggage cart A on the far end of the train, and as you open the door to it, like right on the other side, is this gaunt-looking man in a train conductor's uniform staring at you with one buggy bloodshot eye and the other squinting in a death glare. What?
Oh!
Ooh.
I'm just trying to get past you here. My bag's in cart 1, I was told.
No, it's not.
That's what I was told, though.
Then my idiot nephew was wrong.
Well, shame, because my bag wasn't in this one.
Then my idiot nephew was even more wrong.
Oh, well, I'd still like to go in there, please.
Why?
Well, because you're telling me my bag isn't in there. You told me it is. Only way I can find out for myself is by going in there.
You're in the other car. Look for it in there.
I already have, sir.
Then you're an idiot.
Oh, trust me, Mr. Gent.
Janae.
I have been
Classless American.
Yes. You're correct. I am a classless American. But do you know what I also am?
What?
6'6" of solid muscle that will make you move if you don't let me in.
Let's fucking go!
Holy shit!
Go ahead and roll to intimidate this man. I'm gonna roll a failure dice.
No.
Surely he can also roll an occupation die because
Yeah.
he is a
Sure,
big
yeah, go
buff
ahead and
minor.
roll another one. 3!
Woo!
That occupation dice saved your ass.
Always ask the GM. What can they say? No.
True.
What's it look like?
It's a knapsack. As you might have guessed from this classless American, I don't carry much with me.
He slams the door. About 15 seconds later, door opens. He shoves 3 knapsacks in your face.
Oh, see, now isn't this a conundrum? Because I could have sworn my knapsack was red, and these are all tan.
Takes the knapsacks from you, tosses them behind him. You'll get
Sir.
1 minute.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You step into the luggage car. Also in there, looking at various suitcases, is one of the Serbians. This is the one who had, like, the postboy hat and the big brown trench coat. They are currently just, like, inspecting some larger suitcases, the ones that are, like, at least the size of a man.
Hello?
The both of you are being stared down by the train master. Sorry I interrupted. Did you say hello?
Just saying hello, yes. Hello.
The Serb looks up, looks down, doesn't say anything back to you.
Okay, well. I tried to be
come on.
polite.
If we've only got a minute,
Yep,
let's see if we can't find what we're looking for.
I got a 5.
All right. You got a 5.
I got a rock.
You got a rock. Wow, that's a 6. Okay.
Fuck.
We've rolled so
Alright.
many 6s this game. What the fuck?
Right?
Fucking incredible. All right, so you look around, not just for knapsacks, because, you know, you probably should look for one of those if the train master is very angry and thinks you're looking for one of those.
Oh, yeah.
But in general, for, you know, any luggage that looks like it might contain gold or a jeweled egg or anything. Now, the problem was that you don't know exactly what suitcase it's kept in. However, you do notice a couple with very complicated looking locks on them. And one of those locks looks like, one of the locked ones, rather, looks like it's like a 3x3 lockbox. So, not super big, but it is secured like a bank vault with chains and stuff around it, as well as like 2 separate locks on it. That is not one of the cases that the Serb is looking at. Again, she's looking at the larger ones. And as you are looking, you get a vision, Nathaniel, of what you're looking for in the sense of the jeweled egg. You can picture it in your mind. All of its shines and glitters, every single inch of gold and rubies and sapphires and diamonds that surround it. And then you get a vision of it cracking, and something stares at you from inside. And it is staring directly into your soul. Go ahead and roll insight for me.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
3.
3! Congratulations, I believe your insight's now 3.
Yep.
Awesome, yeah. Whatever was staring at you, it is not human. But it was wickedly smart enough to recognize you and not like what it saw. And then you flash back to reality.
Oh, humanity.
There goes gravity.
That
Well.
was weird. This lock is weird. I think I found my knapsack.
Oh, cool.
Good. 55, 56, 57.
So I'm just going to be bold. I just grabbed the complexly locked case.
All right.
Fuck it. We ball.
Okay, we ball.
You grab the case. The train master looks up, his eyes widen. That does not belong to you, American swine.
Correct, it belongs to me.
No, that belongs to me.
Oh.
It does? Well, isn't that interesting?
Your minute is up.
Yes, and I'm leaving now.
Okay.
All right. The door slams behind you as soon as you leave.
I'm going to clarify, does he take the suitcase from me?
He takes the suitcase from you, yes.
How rude of him.
Mhm. All right, and meanwhile, just to top this off really quick, as Valentine heads into the green car, you see the Serb knocking on Clinton York's door rather insistently.
Valentine, who is he's like 2 bottles of wine at this point, kind of takes the cane and sort of like puts it in between the Serb and the door and just, can I help you with something?
I need to see Clinton York.
Doesn't everyone on this fucking train?
This is
Let
not
me
a
guess.
game.
Nikalik?
Yes.
Right. I've been trying to see him too. Looks like we're in a bit of a pickle. How about we all help each other and we make it out of here with everything that everyone wants? Sounds good?
Very suspicious to go straight to that and to block door. What are you hiding?
Sure. Fine. By all means. You know what? Let me tell you something. Clinton York is indisposed, and if we all want to get out of this with what we want, we need to work together to figure it out.
Move from the door.
Just does a non-committal shrug and like lifts the cane.
All right. Damir Nikolic opens the door, stares inside, looks to you. Would you like to discuss this in
Shrug.
private?
I would love to discuss this in private. Your room or mine?
This one is fine.
Perfect. Just a smile, sort of like wry little smile, raises like the quarter bottle of wine that's left. I'd be more than happy to.
All right. So the two of you step into Clinton York's cabin, shut the door. Damir sighs. They confiscated my knife. Such a shame. I loved that thing. I'll give it back once I'm off, but until then, he opens a drawer, finds a stashed away empty bottle. Until then, I will have to improvise. He smashes the bottle and points the broken bottle towards you.
Oh!
Let us talk, friend.
Oh!
And that is where we're going.
Wait. Give me one thing. Valentine laughs. He laughs, and he flicks his thumb for the head of the cane, and it raises a little bit. It's a sword cane.
It's a sword cane. Let's go.
Let's talk.
All right. And with that, we're gonna end the stream on a cliffhanger.
Yay!
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go!
Slav off.
Delightful.
Delightful. So yeah, this turned out to be a two-parter because there's a lot going on this train. Who would have thought?
There's so many people to talk to and each other.
And each other. Imagine a bunch of actors role-playing.
Imagine doing that.
We're playing the JRPG and talking to every NPC.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking to NPCs.
We're going for 100% completion.
Egg, wine, and Slavov. Finally, another train murder mystery. I feel right at home.
There's been a murder on the Orient Express!
Wow!
Wow.
The reason why Sybil isn't being driven mad is because she's busy being distracted by how much metal she's tasting. Like, she keeps seeing these horrifying shit. She's like, she just shakes it. Look, I don't have time to think about it. Why do I taste copper? Like the
It's
tree
okay, comrade.
catches on fire. Sybil's like, no. What is going on here?
What is going on?
Why did Saber Spark ask what is going on?
What is going on? I just don't get it. And let me tell you, there's a mystery on this train.
Oh my god.
It's just so weird.
Just so weird. Okay, I have to call Steven. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. This is, of course, the end of stream, so I think we all have to head off. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next week for the thrilling continuation and maybe conclusion of the last stop of the Orient Express. We'll see you next week. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere for a week. Bye-bye.
For a week. Bye.
We'll see ya.